Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Manila Standard Sports Locker. And tonight we will be having the two Filipinos who will be participating, nag-participate na, no? Who participated in the last, in taping nung one editions, the Apprentice, no? The one championship edition. Yan po, nakikita po ninyo. They are pride of Filipinos. Actually, pareho silang galing sa Baguio, but the other one is now in Manila. So, ladies and gentlemen, papakilala ko na po sa inyo ang ating mga the apprentice bets ng Philippines. We would like to call on Louie Sangalang. Louie, magandang gabi.
Magandang gabi po, sir.
Yan.
Hi, viewers. Good evening.
Coach din po yan. Coach Louie Sangalang. And of course, very close to our hearts sa Team sa Team Philippines. At mga league bet natin, si Lara. Miss Lara.
Hello, sir.
Hi, magandang gabi.
Good evening.
Good evening. Alam mo, ito, Lara Alvarez po ha, kasi po kapatid po niya yung sa aming mga sa aming national athlete natin sa samahang kickboxing ng Pilipinas, Carlos. And Lara, what do you do now? You work closely with also with athletes sa sa Manila.
So right now po, freelance accountant pa rin ako, tax accountant. At the same time, I'm having my review for my board exam this October. And in between, nagte-training for fitness.
Fit. I thought you're still with the social media ng Team Lakay. But you work closely with them before, no?
Yes po. Kasi I trained with them in 2016 to 2018 before ko work as an accountant. Pero as an athlete lang po, student athlete.
Student athlete. Hindi na tinuloy ng pag na-national athlete kasi talagang nag-focus ka na sa sa yung career to become an accountant. Yun na, nag-aaral ka pa, review ka pa. Ayan. Thank you. Okay. Louie, Lara, wait natin, can we play the video first, teaser video ng The Apprentice? Okay, Direct Peter. While waiting for it, sige.
You bombed, and you bombed. This is completely unacceptable. Thousands of applicants applied, but you are here today because there are seeds of greatness in you with massive potential. But I want to remind you, this is not your grandfather's apprentice. The winner will receive a $250,000 job offer and the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to work for me as my protege, where you will help grow the $1 billion sports media empire that my team and I have built from scratch. Let's go!
We have to create a digital media marketing campaign.
Whose idea was that? Brilliant, brilliant. You know exactly what you're doing in terms of social media.
Like, I'm not your dog. You don't need to pat my head when I do something right.
He's very strong on ideation, but executes almost nothing.
I want her to shine. Can you not interrupt me, please?
Why are you here?
Because I'm fighting for a new life, to fight for my son.
It was really, really bad. I've basically been broke twice in my life.
You know how many times I've fallen, I've failed, a million times. But I get back up and I fight. And that's what you guys will do.
It's dream, passion, vision that changed the world. George, sit here. Hello, team.
We all have fears, doubts, and insecurities.
Shut up! Shut up!
But the starting line starts where the rest of the world quits.
This is the toughest apprentice in history. May the best warrior win.
Grabe, Louie, Lara, nakakatakot yung parang dinaanan nyo. Parang nakaharap kay principal na si principal. Nung bata tayo, di ba yung nakakatakot yung nakaharap ka kay principal lang estudyante. Now, actually, guys, the One Championship has opened a lot of doors for Filipino fighters, no? But this time, well, for fighting, ang mga fighters lalaban at lalaban yan. But this time, we have Filipinos, of course, who had their skills tested, not only yung physical skills nila, yung physical capabilities nila, but also yung emotions and of course yung mind skills nila. Parang talagang siguro, sabi nga nung ito si Danny Bualan, Danny Bualan daw yan. Sabi nga siguro, nabulong ni Danny, lumaban na lang ako, wag lang akong yung pumunta sa negotiating table. Mas nakakatakot. So, Louie, how was the experience inside the Apprentice? Ano ba itong ginawa nyo and how was the feeling?
First of all, yung Apprentice kasi, the One Championship edition of the Apprentice is a bit different sa format, no? Meaning, ang pinagkakaiba nito is that they added physical tasks dun sa competition. And immediately after, we are given business challenges. So, yung tama po kayo when you say na medyo nakakatakot na mahirap kasi aside from yung mental na execution, kailangan may physical execution ka before nyo gawin. So, medyo pagod-pagod ka talaga. I think that's the main difference between the Apprentice One Championship Edition from the other versions of the Apprentice. Pero at the same time, ang maganda kasi doon is it levels the playing field. Kasi kung malakas ka physically, tapos hindi ka naman ganun kagaling sa mental tasks, fortunately enough na lahat naman ang kinuhang candidates magagaling eh. Kailangan mo mag-level up. Diba? So ganun lang siya eh. It will actually play tricks sa mind mo na kailangan both physical and mental up to par ka dun sa expectations ni Chatri.
It also helped, guys, no? Si Coach Louie was also a former practitioner pa rin siya until lately ng mixed martial arts and other martial arts. Paano ka ba nagsimula sa martial arts tapos nag-continue ka pa rin ng studies mo?
I guess, bata pa lang kasi ako, sir, talagang I was exposed na to a lot of sports. Nagkataon lang, nagkaroon ako ng interest sa martial arts kasi when we were younger, my dad, meron siyang staff na nag-aarnis at nagtatang-sudo and he thought it was a good idea na enroll kami sa classes with him for self-defense, but I think at the same time to develop or to build our self-confidence. And I found myself very interested in martial arts. So aside from Tang-Sudo, I went into Taekwondo, nag-arnis din ako in high school. Then eventually in college, I joined a martial arts club na medyo street fighting siya. And the way we would test our martial arts skills is nakipagsuntukan kami sa labas. Basically, ganun po yung nangyari. So towards the end of my studying or my studies in college, na nagkaroon po ako ng cancer, and I decided na after ko mag-recover, as part of my recovery, I would take up martial arts again. And because of that, nagtuloy-tuloy po ako after a few years, and I joined the URCC during its infancy. In fact, kasabayan ko po nung time na yun si Coach Mark Sangyao. And that's how I was able to actually build my reputation as a martial artist. Unfortunately, wala pa kaming social media nung time na yun, so hindi masyadong na-capture yung mga laban namin. Yeah, so ganun po siya. I think yung tinatanong po ninyo regarding paano pinagsabay, of course, there are times talaga na you have to sacrifice training over studying and vice versa. Hindi talaga siya completely equal eh. So ganun din po sa Apprentice, ganun po yung nangyari sa mga challenges and physical tasks po namin.
Mamaya, himayin pa yan natin yung experiences mo sa Apprentice. Pero before I go to Lara, now what you are doing, what do you do now, Louie, as an executive? No?
Sir, so ganito, I am actually an independent consultant. My last client was the MMD and the World Bank. Tapos, I also teach in a few universities. Nagkataon po kasi nung tinawag po kami for the Apprentice, I was actually teaching in 2 or 3 universities, but I had to let go of 2. I just kept one, and then I've been with that university since. No? So I teach now in TIP Quezon City.
Anong subjects ng tinuturo mo, Coach Louie?
Primarily po supply chain and procurement. But this coming semester, I'll be teaching entrepreneurial mindset. So something along the lines of business.
Wow, nako. We're hoping na isa rin si Coach Louie
Pwede akong mag-enroll.
mapipili. Nako, Lara, ano na? Well, Lara, you're one of the few top women na nakapasok na sa The Apprentice, and also helped na ikaw rin ay martial artist, no? So paano ang naging training mo sa martial arts while you were studying also, no, as a student athlete? Kailan ka nag-start?
Nag-start po ako ng martial arts when I was in high school. So, artist po ang una kong martial arts. So, naglaro po ako noon until nag-graduate ako. And then, when I was in college for 2 years, academic scholar kasi ako noon, kaya nag-stop ako ng martial arts. Tapos, nung nakita ko na parang mas advantageous ang isang varsity player, I played for taekwondo. In my later years in college, nagkulang sila ng player for wushu, so doon ako nag-double event. Diyan ako napasok sa training ng Team Lakay when in college. So I was a trainee for 2 years, pero hindi po ako lumaban ng MMA.
And now you are, Lara, you are graduate of accounting and pursuing your your title as an accountant. No?
Yes.
So
Reviewing for the CPA board exam po.
CPA board exam. And in between, yung pag-aaral po nila at mga freelance works nila, ito nga po, pumasok sila sa The Apprentice, and The Apprentice that promises po, no, that promises an inclusion to be part of the executive team ng One Championships to manage or to run this $1 billion company. Lara, sige, una muna kitang tanungin. But before that, I'd like to greet our viewers. Leia Bells, hello, Miss Lara and Louie. From Pauline, of course, we are one. Danny Bualan, good evening. Shout out SKP. Danny Bualan, sir. Gaston Hoya, wow, awesome ka, sir. Sabi niya kanina kay Louie habang nag-explain si Louie. Dahil talagang mahirap pagsabayin yung studies and of course serious. Hindi lang kasi ginawa ninyo Hindi lang serious, hindi lang for as a hobby Serious martial arts ang inano nyo, no? Ang ginawa nyo. And you were also competing. Si Denom Yar, watching from Bulacan, you are also amazing, Sir Louie. Kudos to you. Si Tammy Chan Muni, Tammy of One Championship, Randy, sabi niya. Yes. So, Lara, we will not reveal here, no, guys, kung sino yung mga nanalo or sino yung napili, no? Because you have to watch starting March 18. Yung episode ng One Championship, The Apprentice. So, Lara, gaano katagal kayo nag-stay in Singapore, no? Sa Singapore ba ito? Gaano kayo katagal nag-stay?
Yung filming period po is 2 months. So, 2 months na lang tulugan, 2 months na bakbakan, mentally, physically, emotionally. Ganun po kahirap yung buhay namin para dyan sa film na yan. Kaya kailangan pong abangan yan ng ating mga viewers.
Ito, Lara, we're showing your photos. And in one of the videos, you were saying na you're doing it for your family, no? And of course, pati yung son mo. So, what were you feeling? How were you feeling nung nandun ka na? 2 months yan na talagang walang uwian, namimiss mo yung family mo. What made you go for the finish kasi talagang walang bumigay sa inyo. Anong nararamdaman mo no? Your thoughts?
At that time po kasi my baby was 10 months old lang nung iniwan ko sa Pilipinas. And talagang emotionally heartbreaking yung moment na yun para sa akin. Pero nandun na ako eh. So, ang nasa isip ko na lang, I should make it count na iniwan ko yung baby ko for this opportunity na namimiss niya ako. Kasi after 1 week na nagbe-video chat kami, hindi na niya ako kilala. Kaya yun yung kaya yun yung isang masakit sa akin na moment. Pero andun na ako, so I have to give my best. And actually, during the filming, nung nag-start na kaming mag-film, halos wala ka pang time dyan na maka-video chat kasi we finish at around 2 a.m. ganyan. Minsan di na kami natutulog para dun sa mga business challenges. Ganun ka-tough yung pinagdaanan namin doon. And yung inspiration ko talaga dyan is yung family ko, most especially yung 10 months baby ko at that time.
Mm-hmm. Yun nga, ano yung pinakamahirap na part sa'yo? Sa emotion na ba o yung well, pati physical, sobrang hirap din pala ng ginawa ninyo para kayo nagtitrain special forces in the military, no?
Ang pinakamahirap po talaga sa akin dyan is emotional. Kasi nag-mix na yung namimiss mo yung baby mo. And then, ayun nga, sabi ko, underdog ako dito eh. Kasi my experience is just here in Baguio. For 23 years ng buhay ko, nasa Baguio lang ako. Samantalang I'm competing with 16 candidates from 11 different nations na very competitive. Aside from that, si Kuya Louie na very competitive, Sir Louie. Ayan, so super emotionally nakakabugbog yan. Yung physical task, parang okay na yun eh. Parang okay na talaga yun. Pero mahirap pa rin siya kasi wala kaming tulog. So, diretso, after physical task, magbe-business challenge ka, wala kang tulog. Pagkatapos ng business challenge, physical task na naman, ganun. So, yun po yung sobrang na-stress talaga kami. So, I lost 7 kilograms in 2 weeks lang po yata eh.
Grabe. Oo, nako. Louie, parang you came here so prepared, no? With ang ganda ng katawan mo ngayon. Of course, you were also doing triathlon, no? Mamaya, pag sa discussion, baka i-run yung photos natin, makita sila doon, na-picture mo 20 years ago, we'll touch on that. Physically, na-prepare ka dito, but emotionally and mentally, hindi ba dumating yung point sa'yo na kaya ko to ng physical pero sa mental and dito nga sa mind skills parang mahirap emotional. Ano ba yung mas naging sa'yo or balance lang? Ano yung thoughts mo?
That's a very very good question actually kasi ako personally hindi ako masyadong emotional na tao. I mean I'm quite intense, no? So meron akong side na parang akala mong galit ako pero hindi ako galit. I'm just really, looking at a lot of the details na pinag-uusapan. However, I would strongly agree dun sa sinabi ni Lara kasi ang problema kasi dito sa Apprentice is that hindi ka lang nagko-compete mag-isa. In fact, you're competing as a team tapos ultimately magko-compete kayo individually. So sa akin, ang pinakamalaking challenge sa akin, if we're just going to focus on emotions, is yung collaboration mo with your other teammates na eventually who will become your competitors. Kasi isa lang yung winner eh. No? So yun para sa akin yung pinakamahirap kasi paano mo babalansin yun, paano ka gagalaw sa environment na yun. The other thing that I think hindi in-expect ng ibang mga candidates or competitors is that meron kasing 14-day quarantine period, especially for those who were flying in from different countries. And ako, I was really, really prepared for that kasi I knew that beforehand na may 14-day quarantine. So ang ginawa ko, doon sa hotel, actually nagdala ko ng libro, nagdala ko ng mga bands, nagdala ko ng skipping rope to keep myself preoccupied. In fact, meron akong schedule na ilatag. So that sabi ko sa sarili ko, if I get out of quarantine, medyo handa na ako sa mangyayari. And totoo na I'm competitive, but I'd like to think that all of the candidates who were there are actually very competitive. hindi ka magsusurvive dun sa environment. I mean, si Lara, very competitive din yan, magaling yan. Hindi ka magsusurvive sa environment na, halimbawa, lalamya-lamya ka eh. Napakahirap kakainin ka ng ibang mga competitors, sa totoo lang. So yun din isang iniisip ko, parang, ano kaya mangyayari, di ba? Parang, ito ba, iniisip niya yung best interest ng team, iniisip niya yung best interest ko, when in fact, alam ko in the end, gusto din niyang manalo. So that's something that we all have to think about.
Louie, while you were talking, lumabas yung picture mo yata yun na may kasama kang baby. Ikaw ba talaga yun? Parang ka doon, ha?
Yes. So may kwento dyan eh. So I was always an athletic person. However, pagdating ng college, may mga issues ako eh. So alam mo na, pag nagbibinata, nagdadalaga ka, marami kang issues sa buhay. And meron akong issues sa magulang ko, sa family ko. And I took it out on alcohol, no? So inom ako ng inom nung college, puro away, ganyan. Pinabayaan ko yung katawan ko for 2 years actually. And that's where I gained the most weight. So I'm not a tall person, I'm 5'6", but I gained 180 pounds nung period na yun. Pinabayaan ko talaga sarili ko, and at the same time, because pinabayaan ko sarili ko, I was very irresponsible, and nung time na yon, I became an unprepared father. Nanganak yung ex-girlfriend ko, and I had my daughter. So yun po yung story na ng picture.
And ano pa? Other sports pa? You did other sports, no? Louie? Talagang like
yes, sir.
Triathlon ka pa.
Yeah, so after my career in mixed martial arts, I rejoined the professional field, no? Tapos sa kagandahang palad, nagkaroon naman ako ng fruitful and successful corporate career. Unfortunately, hindi ko na magawa yung martial arts ko noong time na yon. So I told myself na kung gusto kong bumalik sa sports competitively, I have to do a sport wherein kaya ko i-break down yung schedule. And I was very interested in triathlon kasi ano siya eh, multidiscipline din siya na sport, parang mixed martial arts, marami kang inaaral, and very scientific siya. That was the first thing. The second thing was nakita ko yung community, there are community of professionals, entrepreneurs, and people na talagang structured yung buhay. And I saw a very positive vibe dun sa community na yun, sa environment na yun. That's why I also decided to join it. So yes sir, for until now, ginagawa ko pa rin endurance sports, pero bumalik din ako sa martial arts very recently. In fact, 2 years ago, I competed again in a professional MMA event in Palawan.
Oo, nakita ko nga yun, yung video mo na yun, very raw na video eh, no? Sayang. Raw yung video.
Yes.
Sige, balikan kita, Louie. Si Lara naman, nawala si Lara? Lara is there?
I'm here, sir.
Yeah. Lara, we saw, no, sa teaser video, you were crying. Paano nyo, how did you try, no, on your part, si Lara, kasi si Louie, meron ding strategy yan. Ano yung strategy nyo na, how to convince ang, let's say, si Mr. Chatri, no, to convince him to choose you in the long run, or in the end, na kayo yung mapili. Are you trying to be soft? Are you trying to be calm under pressure, or are you trying to be to look tough, no? Para ikaw, ano ba yung nahuli nyo ba? Paano siya mag-decide na I should be chosen as an executive? I have to look tough, or I have to look more humane, kailangan emotional. Ano ba? Kasi yun nga, napaiyakan at one point eh. So ano yung naging strategy mo na gusto mo maging brand mo ng sarili mo doon sa Apprentice? Ano yung strategy mo doon?
Randy, ang talaga dyan, ang plano talaga dyan, magpakatotoo lang. Kasi I know Chatri is looking into the character ng mga candidates. Aside from yung pagka-business, sabi mo dapat, ang unang-una dyan is yung character. So, at that time, it wasn't my plan na umiyak dun sa reality show. Kasi, syempre, ayokong makita na umiiyak ako at that time. And actually, madaming nag-message sa akin pagkalabas ng trailer, mga friends ko na, ala, bakit ka umiiyak dito? Anong nangyari? Ganun po talaga cut-off yung sa harapan ni Chatri na nagde-defend ka ng sarili mo. At the same time, you're explaining yourself. Ganun po. At yung pressure talaga, yun yung nagpaiyak sa akin at that time. Kaya sabi ko nga po kanina, medyo sa emotional ako na test for this show. But ang gusto ko lang ipakita at that time is I am a fighter, yun, na lumalaban ako and I do my best dun sa ginagawa ko.
Nako, ayan. Magpakatotoo si Lara. Si Louie naman, no? Like yan, yung executive, no? Ano ba yung aura na ipinakita mo doon sa Apprentice para do you think will make them decide to choose you?
Sir, again, I agree with Lara's comment, no? Kasi I think first and foremost, kung pupunta ka sa competition wherein yung CEO represents the values of the organization, is you have to fit yung organization na yun. Meaning, dapat you represent the values of the organization of one championship. So, yun prerequisite yun. Yung pangalawang prerequisite na nakikita ko dito is that you have to have technical skills, tsaka dapat may business acumen ka. Hindi ka naman pwedeng sumali sa isang business competition kung hindi mo kabisado at least yung business or management fundamentals eh. And I think lahat ng competitors meron nun, no? Very, like I said, may business savvy. Ngayon, from my end kasi, I've worked in my roles directly with C-level executives and CEOs. In fact, I'm still very close to a lot of C-level executives who have become my mentors. And isang critical sa kanila kasi is that you don't bullshit your way to get out of something or when you do something. I mean, that's just real talk eh. You cannot, hindi ka pwede mambola eh. Diba? At least yun yung perspective ko. Because I expect people who work with me or who work for me to also do the same thing. Kasi respeto yun eh. When you respect someone, hindi mo binobola yung tao or hindi ka nagpapakita ng hindi totoo. Diba? So, pagdating sa teams, I'm very professional and I'm very collaborative. But when it comes to chatry, I think I don't mince my words. In fact, I'm very frank or honest in my observations. And that's just the way business is eh. Sa business, wala naman talagang emosyon eh, di ba? Pasok pera, labas pera, ganun lang siya eh. It's how you treat your customers wherein you put in the emotions. In this case kasi, yung ultimate customer, medyo tough guy din eh. So ang hirap maging sobrang empathetic with him, especially when you're trying to convince him to choose you or to choose your project. Diba?
Ayan, before we proceed ulit, let's say hello to Joan Corpus Cecilio, si Y Nasdi, they're watching, 100 Talosig, go Lara Alvarez, go Louie, go Philippines. Richard Gallema Jr. and go. Yan. So, kayo ba, una natin si Lara naman, balikan natin, and then si Louie, sagutin din niya to. Meron ba kayong nagkaroon ng, let's say, friction with other candidates without mentioning the name? Sino yun na parang nagkaroon kayo ng friction? Kasi your teammates, you were also individual competitors, no? Individually, you compete against each other. Although there are times, or siguro most of the time, you have to collaborate to achieve a goal, no? Meron ba kayo, like Lara, meron ka bang isa or somebody na nagkaroon kayo ng friction inside the Apprentice?
Sa nature po talaga ng competition that everybody wants to win, sabi ni Sir Louie, may mga friction dyan, and which makes it even more exciting. Okay, everybody wants to win eh. Lahat nandyan para manalo. Kaya meron po talagang mga banggaan. And abang ko ng viewers yan, hindi ko naman pwedeng banggitin yung personal. But everybody has a tough personality. Everybody is competitive. Lahat is magaling. Lahat is gusto marinig. Kaya abangan na lang po natin yung mga friction na yan na part ng show.
Naku, narinig niyo po mga kaibigan, meron din mga frictions, merong mga tinatawag na ano talaga, competition within, no? So abangan po ninyo, ano ba yung mga yun? Inggitan ba? Or muntik na bang ito tatanungin na kay Sir Louie. Meron na ka na bang physically, muntik kayong magkabuntalan? Sir Louie, without sa details, meron pa.
So, I will mention two things. First, sabi nila sa combat sports, styles make fights. Tama po ba? Dati po kayong professional referee, sir, di ba? So, styles make fights. There are 16 candidates with different styles. So, definitely, you will expect may fights po talaga sa bawat isa. And having said that, meron talagang friction na nangyari. I mean, whether with one or one versus a group, meron po talaga. Second is that ang boring ng buhay kung walang drama. So, di ba? Kaya tayo nanonood ng K-pop eh. Kasi ng K-drama kasi dahil sa drama, di ba? Gusto natin makita ng sipaan, sampalan, yung murahan, ganyan. I will not spoil it for you kung meron akong nakakatunggali physically, Sir Randy. But definitely may mga moments na parang napapaisip ka na baka pwede, you know, or baka meron na akong ginawa. So I will not spoil it for you. It's for audience actually you know, to watch, and sana po supportan nila tayo.
Actually, what we are asking you naman mga pangkiliti lang, no? So that meron ganyan. Yeah, you don't have to explain the details kasi nga you have to watch and see for yourself no ano ba talaga na. So ako excited kasi what we all see in the One Championship, laban kagad eh.
No? So sa trailer meron po yata ang konting bunuan doon sa trailer eh. Pag nilipin yung trailer, may makikita po kayo doon.
Oo, sa training yun, ng physical training. Well, sa emotion, sa mind skills, ninyo, competition, medyo may idea na kami. Dito sa physical, mas mahirap pa yung training nyo rito o the ordinary training na lalaban ka? Lara first, then Louie.
Sa physical po, mahirap din siya. Pero sa training ko as a martial artist, masasabi ko pa rin na halos pantay yung hirap dyan. Kasi ang kalaban talaga namin dyan yung puyat and yung pressure nga ng ibang mga bagay. Kasi pag nagte-training ka as martial artist, and yung focus mo, madali lang kasi doon ka lang nakafocus eh. Ang difference dito sa competition, ang dami pang mga ibang bagay na iniisip mo, ibang bagay na pumapagod sa'yo. So, ayun, sa physical task.
Oo, halos parehas. Tama ka, Lara, no? Kasi dito, pagka nag-training ka as an athlete, focus ka lang doon sa training, ano? And well-rested ka the next day, dapat, di ba? Dito, talagang test physical endurance. Pero, kay Louie, because you are a triathlete, kaya ba?
Hindi ko masasabing ganun kadali. Kasi, yung focus sa sarili, given yun when you're a professional athlete, kailangan talagang nakatutok ka sa sarili mo. Ang problema is that may mga team physical tasks eh. So, minsan very frustrating dahil alam mong pinaghandaan mo, pero makikita mo yung teammate mo na medyo tagilid, or baka minsan nakikita mo mas malakas sa'yo, kakabahan ka, parang paano kaya to? Parang lamang yata siya doon. So, anong gagawin ko? Yun yung nakaka-stress eh. Yun yung physically nakakapanghina. Na parang akala mo lakas-lakas mo, ang galing-galing mo. Pero, for example, si Roman from the US, he's a professional football player. He actually almost competed in the NFL. He was in the training pool of the NFL. Pag nakakita ka ng taong ganyan, the first day na makikita mo siya, o kaya si Niraj, she's a professional football player, very intimidating eh. Sa totoo lang, kasi malalaki, ang gaganda ng katawan, tapos alam mo talaga na batak sila. Ganda ng kinakain nila. Pag ganyan, ang kalaban na lang is, yun nga, unang-una, isipin mo, anong part ng training ko, or saan kaya ako pwedeng lumamang? Balita ko, baka mas mabilis akong tumakbo, baka pwede yun. Or dadaanin mo sa teamwork, 'di ba? You have to really ensure na yung mga teammates mo, i-assign mo sa magagandang mga roles or malalakas na roles na naangkop para sa build nila or sa sport nila. So yun po yung may hirap talaga doon.
Ito long shot ito. Matanong lang para naman Lara, nung pumasok ka rito and you get to know more about One Championship dito sa Apprentice, mas nakilala mo yung One Championship, yung mindset na isang CEO ng One Championship, yung vision nito. Sumagi ba sa isip mo na magbalik ka at you try at least one fight sa One Championship na lumaban? Hindi pa sumagi sa isip mo na parang bucket list ko kaya ito? Wala pang ganun na bumalik uli sa'yo?
Actually, Sir Randy, yun talaga yung pangarap ko dati, na maging MMA fighter bago ko nakita tong Apprentice na to. But at that time kasi, napagsabay ko yung work tsaka training. And ayun nga, na-give up ko yung training kasi gabi training, tapos mag-work ka kinabukasan. Kaya give up ko yan. And ayun, nung pabalik na sana ako, doon naman ulit ako nabuntis. So, naisip ko noon, baka hindi talaga para sa akin ang fighting. Pero, ayun, tignan na lang natin kung saan tayo dadalhin ng tadhana. Kasi I'm not closing doors naman po sa mga possibilities na ganyan. Pero everybody wants to play for One Championship. It's a very big organization na rooted sa ancient values natin. And everybody wants to be a part of that organization, even be a fighter. So, open naman po ako sa possibility, pero let's see in the future na lang po.
Nako. Coach Mark, si Lara pala gusto pang maglaro. Invite natin sa national selection natin sa kickboxing, national team. Kulang tayo sa babae. Lara, train ka pa? Anyway, Louie, yun nga, kasi like kamo 2 years ago, numaro ka pa. And you know what you can do. Tsaka since you're an intelligent fighter kasi education and intelligence on paper and in the ring or in the octagon or in the circle ng one circle ay you can do a lot sumagi ba sa isip mo na baka pwedeng mag-try ako ng isang laban sa One Championship?
Okay, so the reality is actually nag-try out ako sa One Warrior Series in 2017 when 2018 pala, the year after I took an early retirement from my company, So, nag-come back ako, but ang nangyari kasi with One Warrior Series, they sent me an email asking what weight class I was fighting. And noong time na yun, I actually spoke to some representatives of One Championship that unfortunately may nagsabay. So I was invited naman and sponsored to run the North Pole Marathon. So nagsabay po kasi yung dalawa na yun And unfortunately, I already gave my commitment to run the North Pole Marathon. And nasama ko pa yung wife ko dun sa Norway. We had a very good time. So, I mean, for me, I took that as an opportunity to go to a place na parang bihirang mapunta ng kahit sino. In any case, ang sabi naman sa akin ng representatives ng One Championship, when I come back, we will reestablish the discussion, the negotiations. Unfortunately, hindi nag-materialize yun. So I just kept on training. And in 2019, I was invited to fight in a local MMA competition in Palawan, the very first mixed martial arts competition in Palawan. So I took the opportunity, to kind of re-establish myself. Nanalo naman po tayo, pero in the end kasi, ang naramdaman ko, sa totoo lang, Coach Randy, was that I felt that as an athlete na meron ng background in corporate, mas makakatulong ko sa mga athletes if I'm not competing anymore. Diba? Yung level ng development kasi, I mean, nawala ako, merong itch, parang gusto kong kamutin, gusto kong maglaro ulit. Pero nung nanalo ako, nakapaglaro ako, tapos nanalo ako, na-realize ko na parang ang bagal ng development ng martial arts, ng mixed martial arts, especially sa Pilipinas. if it weren't for one championship or URCC, di ba, it would not have been where it is right now. Ang limited opportunities ng mga venues ng events. And noong time na parang gusto ko magtuloy-tuloy doon, tinamaan naman tayo ng pandemic.
Yes.
So hindi siya nag-materialize. In fact, I was supposed to open another gym somewhere here in Metro Manila. So yeah, but again, you know, you have to deal with the things that are given to you. So ganun lang po siya.
Nako. Well taken yan, Coach Louie. Kung ayaw mo na talaga sige, try mo na lang din sa sa kickboxing. Joke lang. Si Lara.
So actually, nagkita po tayo sa kickboxing. I was there when they launched it here. Yung nagkaroon ng forum. Yes, I was actually. That's how we met. That's how we actually met.
Dito sa restaurant sa Ross Boulevard.
Chinese restaurant sa Pasay po. Opo.
Okay.
Yes.
Join us pa rin. Tulungan kita magtayo ng gym para maging affiliate. Para sa bayan naman. Tapos na sa pro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm more interested in policy making, ganyan, things that we can do to protect our fighters. Kasi yung level na yun, parang kailangan talaga ma-develop I mean, marami tayong coaches. I don't want to be one of the coaches actually. I want to be one of the persons who can actually develop yung martial arts mismo within the country. Be part of that, to lobby that in government, to lobby that among our congressmen, our senators. Yun ang plano ko talaga na makatulong.
Let's talk, Coach Louie, at we can do a lot. Anyway, Lara, you're very good in numbers, no? Of course, very, just like Coach Louie, siyempre, yung tinuturo niya, mga chain, blah, blah, blah. Mga mga manual operations naman siya. Sa'yo naman, talagang you make sure na the company will earn. How did it, help you, itong knowledge mo or background mo sa accounting to, impress, to make an impression kay Chatri or sa panel, sa Apprentice?
Yung po kasi, itong accounting actually is analytical siya. So, ang karamihan na alam ng mga tao about numbers, pero hindi po. Analytical yan, nagme-memorize kami. May mga certain rules kami na pina-follow para mag-improve yung company or i-evaluate yung performance ng isang company, ganun. But when it comes to the competition po, I think yung analytical side na yun ang nagamit ko sa competition. But, ayun, sa numbers, tignan na lang po natin yung challenges na ilalabas. And before I forget pala kanina, while Sir Louie mentioning kung paano kayo nag-meet, gusto ko share kung paano kami nag-meet ni Sir Louie. Kasi very interesting to.
Paano?
We weren't allowed to contact each other. Actually, hindi namin alam yung about sa ibang candidates. And at that time, October 6, yun yung flight ko going to Singapore. And it's my first international flight. So, nandun ako sa kiosk, nakapila ako. Tapos, ina-evaluate nila yung documents ko. And then, dun sa kabila, may nakapila din, ina-evaluate din yung documents. Tapos, itong dalawang airport staff, nag-usap sila. Tapos, nakita nila the same documents. And pareho po kayo nang pupuntahan. Tapos, nagtinginan kami ni Sir Louie. So ikaw pala. Ayun, so surprise. Kasi we didn't expect that we will be on the same flight at that time. So, ayun, very gentleman ni Sir Louie. Ganun kami, paano kami nag-meet.
Okay, let's go back to Louie. Louie, just to let the people know, you hail from Baguio, from Benguet.
Yes, sir.
Can you give us your memories of your days in Benguet before going to Manila? Kailan ka nag-stay sa Baguio?
Okay, so may kwento rin siya. Dami ko kasing kwento, sir. So baka mabibig yung oras natin. Pero I was born in Baguio, in St. Louis Hospital. I think siya. Notre Dame Hospital pala, sorry. Notre Dame Hospital. I was born in Notre Dame Hospital. My dad kasi was in the mining industry. And that's the reason why I was born in Baguio and we lived there for 2 to 3 years before na-transfer kami sa Cebu. halos wala actually akong memory of growing up in Baguio, except every year kasi, every summer until I was in high school, we would spend our summers in Baguio and in Pangasinan. Kasi my mom is from Pangasinan, and a lot of our are actually in Baguio. So, tumira po ako sa Antamok, and sa Itogon part, doon po ako tumira. And in fact, may pinupuntahan kami mga kamag-anak dyan sa area na yan, sa Antamok before, and in Baguio proper. One of the things that I also remember, kasi ang thesis ko in college was yung social impact of mining. So I actually went to Itogon, back to Itogon again. I went through, I think, 12 or 16 different towns there. So ganun po yung research ko, no? So Baguio as a whole is a very special place in my heart. Diyan po ako ginawa ng magulang ko. Diyan po ako naging tao na pinanganak. And at the same time, in fact, marami akong magandang memories sa Baguio from the side of my family, of course. My mom's side, of course.
Mm-hmm. Now, before we wrap this up, meron tayong final question na timely to, no? To both Louie and Lara, this is from Sylvester Rojas. Do you feel that as a recognized figure in Philippine sports environment, you ought to receive support also from the government or brands, mga private support? And do you feel that this needs to start somewhere? Not only you, no? All the, especially at this time, no? All the martial artists natin that, that represents Philippines, not only professional, not only amateur, no? But also in this kind of activities, no? Ito yung tanong, this is from Sylvester Rojas. Who wants to answer?
Ladies first.
Ayun. Kung ako naman yung tatanungin bilang part na ng sports, no? I think yung support ng government natin and our people for our athletes is hindi pa talaga ganun kagrabe. For example, itong sa martial arts nga, I mean, knowing the story of Team Lakay, nag-start sila sa walang-wala. No connection, walang suporta, walang recognition from the government. So, I think the Philippines is full of super athletic and talented na athletes, martial artists, not only in martial arts pero sa ibang sports din. And yun, sana bigyan ng attention ng government itong mga nag-excel natin na athletes, especially yun sa martial arts, kasi we are already known worldwide eh. But if you ask them about the support of the government, meron man, pero sana paigtingin pa nila yung suporta na binibigay sa mga atleta na to.
Tama ka. Mamaya may sundot ako dyan. Louie.
Okay. Sir Sylvester, maraming salamat po sa tanong. First of all, it's a very complex question. And ayoko sana i-complicate, pero it is a very complex question. Yung first kasi is tinatanong if we receive any support from the government or the brands, or do we feel that this needs to start somewhere? So personally, the answer is no. I never received, I don't know about Lara, but personally, I never received any support from the government or any brands when it comes to this particular competition. And the reason being is that I think that primarily, when you are an athlete, it's also your responsibility to support yung livelihood mo, especially if you're a professional athlete. Whether ikaw mismo yung naghahanap na magsa-sponsor sa'yo, or you fund yourself, or your team does that for you, your manager does that for you. That's why I'm saying, I was mentioning earlier na ayoko mag-coach, gusto ko dun sa side na talaga makatulong sa mga atleta, sa mga organizations, on a long term, on a bigger scale. Now, the other complicated part about this question is that if the Philippine government should support athletes, that's just my limited reading of the question. No? Of course, the government should support athletes among other different organizations, diba? Kasi yung gobyerno natin and any other government for that matter, maraming tinutulungan talaga yan. What complicates this even further is the fact na may pandemic tayo ngayon. There are no or very limited sporting events. So ano nangyayari sa mga athletes, di ba? Ano yung kanilang pwedeng pagkakitaan ngayon, knowing na very limited yung opportunities. So in that respect, I think that the government, like for example, the Games and Amusement Board, nagbigay rin sila ng tulong. So ako, I know that because I'm a recipient and I've already seen that among the other professional athletes na may tinanggap talaga na tulong. So in that respect, yes. Kaya nga, medyo komplikado yung tanong eh. Kasi if you're asking about, ako personally, it's competition, no. Pero sa pandemic, yes. Now sa development, it's hard kasi to explain it without comparing it. So what specific example can I give? If you look at the sports programs of China, Russia, and the US, magkaiba, di ba? Yung China, ever since you're a kid, or in Russia, tinitignan talaga yung ability mo to become a professional athlete at talagang ginogroom nila yon. Pros and cons aside, meron talagang tinitignan na level wherein you are going to excel talaga. And these countries are very advanced program for that. Tayo nagsisimula pa lang po tayo. And I think it's a good way for us to actually to start, especially sa grassroots level, kasi marami tayong, number one, binibigay ng opportunity for kids to, may values formation, hindi sila napupunta sa kalsada, they learn how to take care of their bodies, and also, yun nga, become better individuals through discipline, through a lot of things. So in that respect, meron po tayong mga pockets ng development. But on a grand scale, I think there's a lot of improvement that needs to be done. No? And I think what the government can do is invite more and more companies and brands to come on board to help them. Ang problema again is that brands will come in if there is a commercial value na ibibigay mo sa kanila. Pandemic, napakahirap po. Napakahirap po talaga. Sorry, ang haba ng sagot ko kasi kailangan ko i-analyze yung tanong eh. It's not a very simple question to answer. But thank you for the question, Mr. Sylvester Rojas.
As an educator, you just educated us. Ang ganda. So talagang we have to talk, Coach Louie. Anyway, maraming salamat. Before my wrap up, hingin ko yung parting shot nyo. Lara, first, can you invite yung mga Filipino fans to support you at watch the show, no? Para naman masundan nila ano ba talaga nangyari inside the Apprentice program.
And so, sa mga viewers po natin sa buong Pilipinas, abangan niyo po kami ni Sir Louie Sangalang for this The Apprentice One Championship Edition. This is the toughest apprentice in history. So, ayan po, 16 na kandidato yan from 11 nations all over the world ang maglalaban-laban para maging protege ni Charlie. And andyan po yung mga top CEOs natin. We have CEOs from Zoom, Grab. Also, andyan ang mga natin like GFP, ang aking idol. So, abangan po natin ang show na to, March 18, AXN po. Every Thursday yan at 8:50 p.m.
Alright. Louie, ikaw naman.
Alright, so this is Louie Sangalang, competitor and candidate of the Apprentice One Championship Edition. Supportahan niyo po kami ni Ma'am Lara Alvarez dito sa ating stint dito sa napaka-hirap na competition. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who actually voted for us to be on the show. Yun po yung first step eh. So napakahirap po noon, and without your support, Lara and I would not be here. Abangan po natin, yung premiere is on March 18 and the global premiere is in June. So maraming salamat again. Sir Randy, Coach Randy, maraming salamat po for inviting us on your show. And Lara, it was always, of course, a treat to again see you and be with you. Like virtually lang ngayon.
Shout out to Charmin Joy Datong, S. Villasis, Gracie Molina, Rain Reese, Leyna Camille, Go Champ, sabi niya, Gaston Hoya, Pauline, Sylvester, of course, si Joey Bailey Guerrero, Louie Sangalang is awesome, sabi niya, Mark Anthony Escalona, Louie Sangalang Inspiration, Go Lara, sabi niya. Okay, thank you very much for joining us. Lara Alvarez and Louie Sangalang, I hope we can use your experiences at saka yung management skills nyo sa ating martial arts in the Philippines. We have a dream to build a martial arts building where all the martial arts sport will be there. Thank you very much. We will do that. So mga kaibigan, maraming salamat po. God bless everyone. Till next time. One
Good night.
championship, Apprentice.